the things that are affecting you, especially in sports and all around you as well. And most recently, we've been following up on the stories of Kenya hockey because we felt they were neglected and nobody was telling us exactly what was going on. Happy to report that we have gotten results recently of what was going on in the world of hockey, and in fact, even what was going on in the league. Previously, we really had to dig deep to find it, but this time around, it is finding us. In fact, we are the ones to look for space to be able to put it in. Let me just give you a taste of what we got recently. Now, first of all, there was the league matches that were played on 11th of November. Nakuru men versus JKUAT men, Nakuru ladies versus JKUAT ladies, and then Gorillas versus Thika Rovers. The results that came in, Nakuru men won 2-1 against JKUAT men. Nakuru ladies lost to JKUAT ladies 0-2, and Gorillas beat Thika Rovers 4-0. Now, you see, we already get the results now for you. And now, on top of that, we were talking about the team that was playing in Pretoria, and we're happy to report that they got all the way to the semi-finals. But now there's another team that has left. I think teams that have left, they're going to play in the club championships, and we are lucky and very privileged as well to have Colonel Nashon Randiak with us. He is the president of the Kenya Hockey Federation. It's a federation now.
Union.
It's still a union. Okay. It's a Kenya Hockey Union. Thank you very much, Colonel. It's been a long time, very long time, since we saw you on television.
Thank you for having me here.
No, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. Let's start with South Africa, just so that we start on a good note. You recently came from South Africa. I remember when I was talking to you, you are not recovered from the jet lag. And I know at the presidents get affected more by jet lag than us. For us, when we land, you're up and about. But how was the experience in South Africa in Pretoria?
The experience was great. And, you know, Bernard, one thing I normally tell people when they try and challenge us that we are not doing as well as they would like to see is that you cannot play at home. You don't expose your boys and girls, and then you expect to go out and then play against people who have been playing in Europe for the last 3-4 months. You know, we are playing Egypt, we are playing South Africa, we are playing Namibia, we are playing Zimbabwe. You know, Zimbabwe, they have their own region, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Namibia. And their relationship, they have a very good relationship and cordial as well. And then, you know, you leave the West Africans alone, and then you leave the East Africans alone, and then the South Africans, them, they don't fall within Africa. So,
they're in another world altogether, but it's because they have the structures in place. Same as North Africa, Egypt and all that, they have the structures. In fact, the only people you could say you could play in the same league with is probably the West Africans, Ghana and Nigeria. But the rest are advanced in terms of structures.
Yes, I would agree with you. You see, the problem with Zimbabwe, they have the structures, but finances are the problem.
Anyway, let's go back to Pretoria. So you played very well, got all the way to the semi-finals. We were very annoyed here with Ken when we realized that you lost to a team.
It's the ladies who lost to Nigeria.
Just 1-0, the Nigerian team. Then they went and they were walloped 9-something. And we were wondering, why couldn't we just beat them 2-1? What happened in that one? Because I honestly believe that was not the performance that the Kenya team should have given there. And I'm not criticizing them. I'm just thinking, if this team could soak in 9, we could have beaten them even 3.
You are right, we could have beaten them. And the problem is when we play a team that does not have structures, we run into problems.
Oh, okay.
When we play teams that have structures, then they run into problems.
They mess up your game, or what happens?
Yes, teams which have no structures mess up your games. You see, the West Africans, Ghanaians are coming out of it. You know, they have started structuring their games. But the Nigerians, they have no structure. It is Sukuma Twende.
I thought there's a theory that says that there's, even in chaos, there's actually, if you look closely, you'll find an organization within the chaos. So they must have
organized chaos.
Exactly. They must have known what they were doing in there.
They knew what they were doing, because for them, they hit the ball towards the goal. Okay. And that is their,
They just hit it towards they just want to sound the ball.
As hard as possible towards the goal and hope that it will go through.
Now that's difficult to play.
And it went through. It really went through in
So
the
then,
third minute.
maybe now the South Africans denied them the ball, because if they don't have the ball, then they cannot shoot.
Yes, now you see the South Africans are superior to them.
Superior.
Yeah.
Okay. It's great to see you, and we congratulate you for that, and even for taking the team down to South Africa. But let's get back to also talking about home. I remember in the good old days, we used to have hockey pitches in schools. They would double up. There were multi-purpose pitches and all that. What's going on with hockey now? Why do we have this little emptiness between what is happening in schools and what is happening in the leagues?
First of all, you know that the school curriculum changed. We only have hockey played during one term. When I was in school, we were playing hockey throughout the year. Yes, throughout the year. So that itself affected the performance. That is one. Two, since hockey moved from natural pitches to artificial pitches, that was another shift.
Totally.
That was it's now a different ball game. You are either with them or you are not with them at all. And we are struggling. That one we cannot deny that. You know, when Kenya was Kenya, that time we used to play on grass and marram.
And marram. Yes.
Grass and marram. And we were a powerhouse. Then things changed. When things changed, we got our first artificial ground, and we've never moved beyond City Park.
It's still the only ground that has an artificial turf in the country.
Of course, it's the only.
It's the only hockey stadium.
It's the only hockey stadium. Sikh Union are trying. They have something which resembles that, but also which is not a world class. Yeah, and then. So it is a problem. You see, you cannot train on grass and marram and then play on artificial turf. That's one thing. And then during that time, you see, when we were good and all the other countries were actually working very hard to beat us. And we have agreed that hockey and sports in general have become very dynamic.
True.
And when we were there trying to admire ourselves, all these other countries came and, they passed us.
You see, the best, I don't know if Ken has these memories, but the best memories that I still have of hockey is when we had the Simi Goyals and Peter Katsa and that team, that particular team. But beyond that, now we had clubs, and then we came into the ladies hockey, which became very popular, and then for some reason it also went down.
Yeah, I was a member for a while. A member of that team, Peter Kasa, Lucas Alubahas, and Julius Akumu.
Yes, Julius Akumu, yes.
Yeah, we were all there. And that was a different type
Julius
of...
Akumu used to hit as hard as you're saying the Nigerians are hitting.
Yes.
Because on short, I never saw a short corner by Julius Akumu that was stopped by anyone.
Yeah.
In fact, you thought the boards were going to be broken when the ball was going into the net. But we believe that the game has shifted. The game has modernized. The game has become more technical. Are we working towards that as well, or are we still stuck at the infrastructure level?
No, we are working towards that, because the first thing you have to do, you have to ensure that your technical bench is trained, and that they use the new techniques. And we have a couple of them. We have about 3-4 coaches who are actually level.
So capacity has been built.
Capacity, we are building the capacity. You see, we have Senge, we have Kimanthi, we have the likes of Tom Olal, but Tom Olal has taken a dip. I think he went home. He wants to reorganize.
He wants to look at his cows and be happy about it. Look, a man is allowed to do what makes him happy at some age.
Yes.
But Bernard, I'm just worried because, from the time that City Park became City Park, became what it is, from when they got the artificial turf. It's been what? It's almost 20, 30 years.
That was
where have we?
That was during the All African Games.
Yes, that was All African 1987. So what have we been doing from 1987 to now, Mr. President?
I think I would request you to assist me, ask the ministry where they've been.
No, because I would imagine as a union that is probably.
I think this is a genuine question because it's a question intended to help. If you were asked to lay out what you would like, say from the ministry, assuming yes, the minister listens to us, what would you say is what Kenya Hockey Union needs to be able to progress?
Infrastructure. We've already
build a stadium.
Yeah,
or what?
we've already had a discussion with the Honorable Ababu. Yeah, he has been to the stadium, and we had a candid discussion on the infrastructure, and he promised that he is going to do his level best to ensure that we get a new turf.
On the same stadium?
Yes, we need a new...
What about building another stadium?
We need another stadium, but we also need a new turf.
On that stadium?
On that stadium.
Because my worry is that stadium is overused. There are too many teams playing on it, too often, and it's not very well maintained. Now, if I'm trying to draw a parallel between what is going on, for example, in soccer, that now people do not have to go to the stadium. People, even private investors have built, artificial turfs in different places. And for a small fee, people go and train there. Would that be a good way to promote hockey? Or how would you move it to so that it can take root again into the primary schools, secondary schools, and the grassroots?
You see, if people have capacity, to install the AstroTurf, then it is the way to go. But people normally make a mistake. The hockey grounds are completely different, and the composition and the structure is different. And a hockey turf is extremely expensive.
Businessmen look at the expense vis-a-vis what they're going to get in return, and if they feel it's going to be a good return, they will put it in. But is there any plan to again introduce hockey to schools? Is there any plan whatsoever? Because in schools, whatever grounds they have is a multi-purpose ground. It's used for basketball, for football, for anything else that they can. Is there any plan like that? I was talking here the other day to one of your officials, and when we were going to secondary school, one of the requirements was you must go with a hockey stick. That time, hockey was being developed from that level.
Yes. It stopped, I think.
It stopped.
They stopped taking the hockey stick. Because anyway, they were not making any good use of the hockey stick. The hockey stick was being collected the first day you report and kept in the store. And
so what is the problem? Were there no coaches or were there no grounds?
I don't know. I don't know. It is also the system.
It's the system.
It's the system.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
All right.
President.
Okay.
So assuming that you are in line with the Sports Act, right? So every year you must have, like your budget, which you then present to the ministry. That's I think the normal procedure. Do you present, is your budget met? And are there things that are not met? Because I'd imagine that every 2-3 years you'd present something like a new stadium or, something to modernize our game, something to be at par with the people that are so ahead of us, the South Africans, the Egyptians, the Moroccans.
The government has no capacity to meet the budget for all the federations. That is a fact.
Yes.
And what normally happens, every 2 years, we give our projected budgets.
Yes.
And then 6 months before the actual event, you now give the actual budget. But there's no guarantee that your budget will be met.
No guarantee. Yeah.
There's no guarantee.
Okay.
Yeah, hockey, we've been lucky that we've participated in all what we have requested for.
Yes.
Although in a number of them we've gone late.
You've gone late.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this going late as well.
Yeah.
There's a team currently traveling to Malawi, I believe.
There are 3 teams.
There are 3 teams.
Yes.
They're still on the road.
No, one is already there.
One flew. And the others?
Lakers. They should be in by now because
having started on Monday,
they drove to Malawi.
No, of course they drove to Malawi. That also indicates how dedicated they are.
They are dedicated, yeah. But it's an act of desperation. I mean, Malawi is about 5 or 6 countries away from Kenya to go by road. I mean, from Monday to today. I think the event starts on Saturday. Wouldn't they be too tired to be able to perform? I mean, I'm not blaming you. I'm actually empathizing with the situation.
I also empathize with them, but it's not. It has happened before.
It has happened before.
Last time when we were in Namibia, and the Tanzanians came by road.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a long way from Tanzania to Namibia.
It's even longer from Kenya.
Yeah.
How hard did the Kenyans go to Namibia? We flew, I hope.
Yeah, no, we flew.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like to compare ourselves to the worst every time so that we can make ourselves look good. If it's bad, it's bad. So they traveled by road. I presume it was because of lack of funds.
Of course, lack.
Okay,
they just had enough.
They just had enough.
Yeah.
But they agreed and they decided we're going to do it.
Yes, they decided.
Great. So we wish them the best. It's a club championships, isn't it?
Club championship.
Are you going to join them there?
Later. We are having a congress. So
you have a congress.
Yeah, I'm going to go towards the tail end.
I see that Kenya has been drawn against New Zealand. Kenya has been drawn against Trinidad and Tobago in the Hockey Fives Men's World Cup in Oman. Mm-hmm. You're not going to drive to Oman, that's for sure.
No, definitely.
But are you planning to go to? Are you planning to present a team there?
No, the government gave us money because there were qualifiers. Okay. We went in for the qualifiers.
All right. And you made it.
And we qualified.
Very good.
Yeah. So now we have to honor.
Okay.
Yeah.
My next question is then, how are we preparing for it? Because if you're going to prepare in the same hockey stadium that we have, then obviously you're going to be preparing on an inferior pitch. Won't that affect the performance?
No, that one will not affect the performance because you can select the best part of the pitch because you just need a quarter of the pitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like playing a 7-a-side in a football match.
Yes.
And preparing for an 11-a-side.
Yes.
You don't think it's going to affect you in the long run?
No. You see, it is just a technique. If you know the technique, because you use the boards. In Hockey Fives, you use the boards as well as there are so many rules that are not applicable. Yeah, the D is not there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can score from once you get into the half, you can score.
Oh, you can actually shoot from the half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
yeah.
So that's what I was saying. The game is modernizing.
Yeah, it is modernizing.
I didn't know that. I thought you had to get to the D. That's what we knew.
No.
So the game is modernizing. Yeah. Who is our biggest threat in this area in terms of hockey?
In the Hockey Fives?
Yes.
You see, all those are world beaters.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all of them are a threat.
So you can say
have you
all of them are a threat
for this before?
No. This is the first time.
This is the first time.
The last time we took part in a World Cup was 1973 in Amsterdam.
Okay, and this is the men's team, right?
This is the men's team,
which did make past the group stages in Pretoria.
No. You see, this is different. Now you are comparing 15s and 7s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now you see those are even different players.
Those are different players. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, President, what appeal would you like to make out? Because people are complaining about hockey. I mean, not being visible, not being accessible. People are complaining that they don't know what's going on. They don't know what to do for hockey. What would be your appeal?
First and foremost, what I would like to, the information I would like to pass to whoever is interested is instead of complaining, you come. I would be more interested to hear that I've approached hockey and they've refused, to listen to my advice, or they've refused to take the little support that I have for them. People make a lot of noise. You have a lot of people on the sides who make a lot of noise and do nothing. That is the saddest thing that we see.
You're talking about to other officials or other stakeholders?
No.
Because I was talking from the media point of view, that many are feeling that, hockey is not accessible. I mean, I told you that just now I started receiving the fixtures, so I know that there's something going on. But previously, these fixtures used to go out to all the media houses. and people would know that there would even be people coming to the stadium. You know, it would attract fans and all that. You know, I know it's a small source of funding, but it's also puts, you know, hockey into the eyes of the public. But at the moment, everybody's feeling like it's not accessible. It's like a club.
It's
of a few
like
people
an exclusive club.
Yes,
no, but that information still goes out. I think you have your own, you know, organization that we send the fixtures, and you are one of the few who are complaining about the fixtures not getting to you. But
I can actually give you a personal experience, but I guess there's no point of doing that.
No, there's no point. But
I actually make very conscious efforts to try and get what I want, and sometimes it doesn't come, and I have to follow it up. But that's neither here nor there. So, what guarantees are you giving that you'll open up hockey to everybody who's interested in it?
We have already opened up hockey to anybody who is interested. In fact, anybody who is interested to come in and help us, our doors are wide open.
So, Mr. President, you know,
okay.
sometimes when you want help, you need to make yourself helpable. Okay. So why not create hockey as a brand, and you will see how sponsors come to you. Because if you are open and you have something that other people want, they will come and they will pay for it.
Let's take the diary of what is happening over the weekend, first of all, and then the president can make the closing remarks. And there are a couple of events that are happening over the weekend. We always like you to put them on your diary so that you don't miss out. Ken, as part of them as well. So what's going on, Ken, over the weekend?
Well, of course, the big one is Harambee Starlets. Under 20 World Cup qualifier tomorrow at Nyayo Stadium.
That's Friday, yes, tomorrow.
Against Cameroon. Remember, we lost 3-0 in Yaoundé, so we have a chance to, you know, qualify tomorrow. This team has a lot of issues. Many of their players are doing the exams. Then Harambee Stars, the men's team, are playing on Monday away to Seychelles in Cote d'Ivoire. Excuse me. And then the biggest extravaganza of them all, the Safari Sevens is back.
Well, let's talk about the World Cup qualifiers first of all. Ivory Coast is playing Seychelles. Gambia again with Ivory Coast. And no, that doesn't sound right.
So Ivory Coast, Seychelles is tomorrow.
Just a moment. So Kenya is playing Seychelles in Ivory Coast. But Ivory Coast cannot then be playing Seychelles. Now, Gambia is playing Ivory Coast. Burundi is playing Monday. Gabon, and then Harambee Stars will play Seychelles. Okay, right. So that is the way the fixture is supposed to be. This is part of the World Cup qualifiers that are going on over the weekend. And then we have what else? There's a Kobe Marathon as well that is coming up. That is on Sunday the 19th. I don't know why marathons are run on Sundays, not on Saturdays. But literally every marathon is
supposed to have marathon on Sundays.
Yeah, it's always on that. Maybe because there's less traffic. And you know marathons are about the cities, so you want to see the city a little bit. Boston as well is going to be on, the half marathon is going to be on Sunday. And then there's the World Cup match as well. Senegal is playing Japan. Now this will be a cracker of a match because Senegal wants to extend its lead in their group up to the front. Poland was beaten 4-1 by Senegal, so they will be trying to avenge it on Argentina. There's Brazil, who are the reigning champions, who gunned down Caledonia by 9 goals. They'll be playing England, so this will be like a true World Cup final only in the 19s category. So
and
we'll
don't
see what
forget that there. England beat Caledonia 10, eh?
10, yeah. So this is a competition between the two, 19 goals against one team. Let's see what they'll do to each other now.
So then the Safari Sevens are on Gong
17th to 19th. Yes, you already mentioned that. Great. President, we are just closing now. The issue, people talk about the issue, and you can give me a very quick answer of the Sports Act and the Kenya Hockey Unions, whether they are compliant with the Sports Act and whether that's affecting everything that is running. What's your comment on this?
We are, first and foremost, we are compliant.
You are compliant.
Yeah,
okay.
And I'm also happy to say that when the act was enacted, it was Honorable Ababu Namwamba who was there.
He was there, yes.
He was the one. And now he's back.
Yes.
And now, in fact, he should come back and see it through. Whatever hiccups, whatever hurdles that are there.
Yes.
He should now come and, smoothen the path.
How many years before we see Kenya playing at the World Cup in hockey?
In hockey? Maybe another 5 years or so.
5 years?
Yeah.
Okay, President. We'll hold you to account on that and see where it happens. If we put the structures
I
in
pray
place.
that the Lord will have me in place so that you can hold
pray that the structures. Let's pray more that the structures will be put in place.
Not the structures. I can assure you, because the plan that we have in place, by the end of this year, we are going to close City Park Hockey Stadium.
For renovation?
No, we are closing it.
Like it will not exist?
We are closing it because we want to create a good problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you see, when we close it and we rip the turf off, we have to find ways and means to replace it.
Okay.
Because if you don't replace it, first of all, the stakeholders are the ones who will deal with you.
All right.
And then we are also working with the ministry. You see, we are going for the club championships.
Yes.
The President Africa will be there, and the President World will be there. On completion of that tournament, both of them will come into Kenya.
Oh, good.
They'll pay a courtesy call to the minister.
Okay.
And they will have a talk, with a view.
After the minister, please bring them here as well, so that we can have a chat with them as well.
Yeah, I can bring them.
No, I want you to, so that we can have a chat about it.
Yes.
As well. Yeah.
You see, they are coming. They just want to discuss ways and means how
of improving.
They can assist Kenya to get back
to what it used to be. All the best, President. Yeah. I'm being told that we've run out of time, but we thank you very much for having come to talk to us. This has been very enlightening. I wish we could do this more often. I know you're busy.
We are always there. You just give us good notice, and we'll avail ourselves.
Well, thank you very much. Well, Colonel Nashan Randiaki is the president of Kenya Hockey Union. We've been talking about what's going on in hockey. Now you've got the complete picture. Don't complain, he says. Come in and tell us how you can help us, or tell us how we can help you. So the doors are open. So let's hope that we're going to hear more about what's going on in hockey. We've got to go now, and we thank you very much for having kept us company. I see the predictions. 2-1 in favor of Harambee Stars is what many people are saying. 1-0 is the least that I've seen on that prediction of what will happen between the Kenya versus Seychelles match that will be played on Monday. All the best to Harambee Stars, and we'll see you next week on another edition of The Scoreboard.